Hi guys, this is Christy Fulk with Create with Christy. Well, I'm back with another one of my monthly online card clubs. This is for February 2026 and I'm featuring the adorable Sweet Bugs bundle. It's part of the Cute as a Bug suite that's in the January to April mini catalog for 2026. I love this bundle. It was so much fun making these cards. And I'm going to show you everything that my club members are going to get this month. The way my club works, I would love for you to join if you'd like to. I'm going to show you how to make the first card of club here in just a minute. But I want to tell you all about my club real quick. If you subscribe through PayPal, and say you subscribe on the 5th of the month, your card will be charged every 5th of the month until you cancel, and you have complete control over that. You can cancel anytime, and you cancel through your PayPal subscription. But you're not going to want to, because if you stay a member for 6 continuous months, you'll get a bonus pack of at least $25 worth of product. So card kits, embellishments, things like that. So if you want to find out more, just click on my monthly online card club link down there in the video description. You get all the information. If you want to join, then just click the subscribe button there, join, and I'll welcome you into the group. And I hope you can join. Well, this is what my ladies are going to get this month. They always get card kits to make 8 cards. So it's 4 card designs, enough for 2 of each. I do all the embossing for them, and then any die cutting that's done with something that's not part of the bundle. If it's part of the bundle, they do the die cutting themselves, but I do give them the cardstock to do that with. So they get the card kits for the 8 cards. They will also get a full roll of the Old Olive, let's see this full name, Specialty Rick Rack. And I'll show you this a little closer here in a minute. I don't want to open this one up because this is one of the ones I'll be giving to the ladies. So you get a full roll of this. You also get a pack of the Ladybug Garden Epoxy Shapes. I know these aren't available right now, but I have enough for my club, plus a few extra for those of you that join. So I got those before they sold out, thank goodness. So you get a full pack of these. And you get a half pack of the Cute as a Bug DSP. Now, I cut it in half, so it's actually 6 by 12. You get 2 of each design. I'm going to have to show it to you this way because it is kind of long. Now this one I will kind of turn a little bit. I will give you both sides of this, so that way you get all of the bugs. So you will get those, and these can be die cut, most of them, not all of them, but most of them can be die cut, and even the flowers and the mushrooms with the die set in the bundle. I love it when they do that. And then there is the other side to that one. Then this one, you'll get both sides of this one. And I'll show you how to cut these down, and we'll even use a couple of these. Now, so you only get 1 of each panel, but that is the full 12 by 12 piece. So that comes with the kit. And there's the other side to that one. So if you don't like the bugs, that is okay. If you're more of a flower person, there are so many designs in this that do not have bugs, as you can see. And you can use those sides and use another bundle. And just use the card kits that I give you. So that is the way that one goes. So you're not limited to the Sweet Bugs bundle. You can substitute with anything you have on hand. And then you can use the other sides of this DSP because you get the half pack and you cut it down yourself. So there we go. So you have the option of using whatever design you want to. You do not have to stick with mine. Looks like I need to kind of keep these upright so you can see what they look like upright. They look kind of funny sideways. And then this side. And last but not least, the mushrooms. I love the mushroom paper with that plaid. Isn't that neat? I love that. And that's actually what I'm using on the first card. So that is everything they get with their $46 kit. And they will also have the option to add on the bundle. And here it is. It's the Sweet Bugs, like I said. And if they want to add this onto their kit, it's $46.75. That's the price of the bundle. I pay the shipping and tax for them. So just being a club member, they save 18% since they don't have to pay the shipping and the tax. So there is the bundle. So it's $46.75 that they can add on. But like I said, this is optional. They do not have to do this. They can substitute something else they have on hand, or if they already own it, they just use the one that they have. So that is how my club works. I hope you're interested. Oh, I do want to show you the cards I'm getting ready to make too. This is one I'm going to make here in a few minutes, so make sure you stick around, and you'll be able to see exactly how my videos are run, because they also get a PDF with the pictures, the paper sizes, and the supply list, and the links to this video, plus plus the exclusive video, because they will have an exclusive video that only they get to see to learn how to make the last 3 card designs. So this is what I'm going to make for you here in a minute. And then this is number 2, so this will be on the exclusive video. And now this one is going to be a little different. They're the exact same card, but I wanted to use those panels. I thought they were so neat. So they can pick whichever of the 2x3, or 2x4 actually, no, 3x4, 3x4 panels that are on that sheet that I showed you, and as a background, and then add any of the bugs, and I die cut them from that paper. So this is just 2 options I'm going to show them that I made, and they can do it differently, but it's the exact same card. It's just changing the little front panels, all they'll need to do. So that's the other design. And then this is the last design I'll be teaching them. So these are the ones that are going to be in the exclusive video. And this is the one I'm getting ready to do. So I'm going to go ahead. The rest of this video is going to be just like my exclusive video. My club ladies are actually going to watch this to learn how to make their first card. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi ladies, welcome back to another month of our club. What you're going to want to do, go to that email that I sent you that has the PDF. Make sure you save that PDF, that way you don't lose any of the paper sizes, the video links, supply list, all that good stuff. Make sure you save that to whatever device you want to. Go to card number 1, get all your supplies together, and come back and make this card with me. Okay, let's get started. Okay, now if you're using the Sweet Bugs bundle, you're going to want to get out, the only stamp you're going to need is the Love You Lots. We're going to need both of the mushroom dies and both of the mushroom tops. Those are those dies. We need this flower. We need this, and we're going to be using these as flower centers, even though they're strawberries, so those have multitasks, like you can do that die. Then we want to get both of these flower dies, and then we need both of these stems. Actually, that one's upside down. There we go. That is everything we need from the bundle. All right, now it's time to do some cutting. Grab your pack of DSP, and I just happen to know, since I just looked over these, I want the mushroom one, so it might be on the bottom of yours. You might have to thumb through them a few times, but you just grab one of these since you've got 2 6x12 pieces. And we need, I'm going to actually start with the 4-inch strip. Let's start with 4 inches. This kind of helps with cutting everything. So there's 4 inches. Now we're going to need a 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 piece. Okay, so what we're going to do, go ahead and go to 5 1/8. To do a 1/8, there's the 5, go up 2 little lines. That is the 1/8. So it's the smaller one's a 16th, and then you go to the next one, so it's a little bit longer. There we go. And then we want to cut this down to 3 7/8. So now you can go to where the 4 is, go over to the right to get to 3 7/8. And then we will cut that. And then we're going to go ahead and turn this. It really doesn't matter. See which, if you like this better, don't cut this, cut up here, doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and cut up here. And I need it to be 1 inch. So I'm going to use my little measuring thing here and go to 1 inch. Of course, you can use the 1 inch over here, doesn't matter. And this is how it's going to go on the card base. Okay, so put these to the side, and if you want to do your second card, do the exact same thing with this piece. And then we are going to need a 4 by 3/4 inch piece. So if you use this to get this, let's see, I think I can still do that. Oh yes, that's right, I figured this out. So now that it's still 4 inches, go to 3/4 inch. I'd forgotten, I actually was smart and got this figured out. There we go. And this will be the inside of the card, and this is going to be the exact amount that you need to do your second card. Because when I got done cutting this, I figured out I had 1.5 inches left, and I thought, oop, that works. You might have a little sliver back left, but that will work, and then you'll still have a bunch of the designs with this. So that is all the DSP we need to cut. Now it's time to get your old olive rickrack, and we need a 6-inch piece. So here's my 6-inch mark on my glass mat. Cut, and that is all I need for my 1 card. Of course, you'll need 2. So that is all the cutting we need to do. So let's get started with the card. Okay, there's very little stamping, so grab that little piece of basic white that is in your kit. This is 2.5 by 1/2 inch. We're going to grab the Love You Lots and a Poppy Parade ink pad. So I'm going to ink this up. Stamp it here close to the middle. Get as close to the middle as you can. It's not perfect, that's okay. Now I'm going to be cutting this down. We'll do that here in a minute. It's going to be really easy, but let's go ahead and keep it all together so we don't lose the pieces. So I'll put that to the side. And now it's time to get some die cutting done. Okay, I've got my Stampin' and Cut and Emboss machine out, and for die cutting, I need the base platform number 1, die plate number 2, and a standard cutting plate number 3. And now I want you to get from your kit the very vanilla piece. This is a 5.5 by 2 1/4 inch. It's enough for both of your cards. Grab the Poppy Parade strip. This is a 5.5 by 1.5 inches. That is also enough for both cards. Then there's this piece of Cajun Craze. It's 3.5 by 1.5. Once again, enough for both of your cards. And last but not least, a piece of Pecan Pie. It's a 2 by 1, and it's enough for both of your cards. So I'll just put that one down here. Now there are gonna be a lot of dies, so I'm gonna be putting on here. I'm not gonna worry, and we do have an old olive piece we need to do. We'll do that separate. I was thinking I was gonna be able to get them all on, but that one was too long. So grab one of these flowers. We'll put that right here. Then I'm going to grab both of the mushrooms. We'll put these on one end. See if I can get a hold of the little one. There we go. I think I'm going to do it that way. And then we need, just go ahead and die cut this whole thing, even though we're not going to need the blackberry part. And then we have the 2 little flowers left. So put this here, and where'd the other one go? There we go. It was hiding on me. And put this one here. And we are going to need one more of these, so I'm going to have room here, and then there's still plenty of room for the setup that you're going to need for your second card. And then last but not least, we can do the mushroom. There we go. And then I'm going to put this on top. When I don't use tape, I just want to make sure they stay on the cardstock. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put this down like this and then slowly bring it down. And then I hold it down here just for a minute to make sure it doesn't move on me. Then when it starts cranking, all the dies are in there. They're not going to move. There we go. So all of those are die cut. Go ahead and get this out of the way because I don't need that one anymore. Oops. Don't want to start losing these dies. That would not be good. Okay, so now I've got one of the mushrooms. And here is, so I can use this for the second card. If they don't come out, don't worry. These little holes here, you just poke out a couple of them. Actually, I just had to do one. There's the smaller mushroom. Then here are all the flowers. Like that. And last but not least, with this set that we needed, here are the 2 mushroom tops. I don't need, the only dies we need to make another set with this is this flower right here. Everything else, we've got everything die cut that we need, but we do need to get some stems cut. So I'm trying to get rid of some of those. Get these dies out of the way. I'm going to bring this back in and this back in. Put this there. And then you need 2 sets of the stems. So we'll have to run these through one more time. But there we go. I've given you plenty of cardstock with this. Sometimes I give you extra in case you're using a different bundle. I do that with a few of the card sets with the basic white. But since this one we're using mainly die cuts, I didn't have to give you half sheets with this kit. But like I said, I do give you extra cardstock just in case you substitute with something else. All right. Oh, it would have helped if I had turned that one up right. I think that's a first. I'm going to put that back on there. It made a nice little embossing thing, but I don't want that. I want it to cut. So I'm going to go put that back on there. That's okay, because I'm going to be running it through again because I need another set of these. So there's the small one. Looks like this one I'm going to have to poke out just a little bit. Actually, I think I'm going to start down here. So that'll make it easier to get those long leaves out. There we go. So I want my other set of these. I have to do that flower one more time since for some strange reason I had the blade up and I ruined my perfect, now I've got to cut in this one, but that's all right. I'm going to have to switch these around anyway because my bottom one's pretty cut up now. All right, so now I can run this through. This time that flower is going to cut. All righty. Get all of these out, and we're going to be all done die cutting and get all these pieces out real quick. So there we have, I have this one ready to go. And it looks like both of the stems stuck in there just a little bit, but you just have to get it started and it comes out super easy. So they're not real stuck. You just have to help them out just a little bit. And there's that one. So we are all done cutting, so let's put this away and finish the card. All right, I want you to get that piece of pecan pie out. This is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. And then get those 2 DSP pieces out there, the 3 7/8. This is a 3 7/8 by, well, that's right. The whole thing was 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and then we cut an inch off. So they're both going to be the 3 7/8 inches. So to compare these two, this one is thinner and it's just a little bit longer. That's the one that's going to be for the inside. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my adhesive. I really like this plaid side. I love plaid paper though. Now I'm going to center this one here at the bottom. So I'm looking at the border of the pecan pie on the bottom and on the sides. It's going to be narrow because I didn't want too much. It needed a little something, but I didn't want it to be too thick. So there we go with that. Now this one is going to go on the top. I love it when I use both sides of the paper. Oops, this one's a little messed up. Oh, I'm going to do some work on that one. That happens every once in a while. This one's working though. So go ahead and get some adhesive on here. Just got to wheel it up. There we go. And this is going to go on the top. Now I am going to really look at the border around the of the pecan pie around the top and the sides more than the bottom piece. I still kind of want this part lined up with the paper, but you might have it overlap, which mine is overlapping just a little bit, or there might even be a gap. Don't worry about that. You just want to make sure that border is right, because what we want to do is grab that rickrack and we're going to wrap it right around there. I'm going to grab my tear and tape. You know, I like to use my tear and tape for my ribbon when I wrap it around. And you want to make it longer than the width of your ribbon, because you want to be able to hold that ribbon down no problem. And this is this not like regular rickrack. It is not stiff at all. I really like it. So that's why you're seeing it kind of curl a little bit while you're using it. So I'm going to make sure I've got some ends. They don't have to be the exact same length. It won't matter. But just make sure you have enough on both ends to wrap around. And then when you put this on, make sure that your tear and tape doesn't go past the end of this cardstock. I'm just going to put it right up there in the corner. That works. Now I'm going to put this around. Actually, I think I want to bring it down just a little bit. There we go. Make sure it's straight. And once again, I'm going to hold on to that. So I'm kind of starting up here so I don't go over the corner and then bringing the rest of it down. Get that pushed down really good. Now I want to grab the card base. This is that Poppy Parade 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to fold this in half, get those corners lined up like so. Okay. Now I'm going to put some adhesive on this. I'll just need some up here at the top, down here in the corner, a couple corners down here, maybe a little bit right there. I don't have to worry about where the tear and tape is at, because I'm going to take that paper backing off and that tear and tape will hold it in these places. Now I'm going to go in between the end of the tear and tape and where the ribbon is at, and then just jiggle. That is the easiest way to get just the paper to come up and not the adhesive also. If you get too close to the ribbon or too close to the end of the adhesive, a lot of times when I would do it that way, I'd end up picking up the adhesive too, and you don't want to do that. All right, make sure your fold is on the right. and you put it right here in the center of your card base. Doesn't look like I folded that really good, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to grab the inside of the card, so grab your basic white piece that's in there that's 4 by 5 1/4, and then grab that last DSP piece. Get some adhesive on here. And I went back and forth on whether to put it on the top or the bottom. If you want it to look like this, put it on the top. I'm going to put it on the bottom. I just thought I'd make it the opposite of where it was on the front. You can also leave a gap down here at the bottom. I can't remember if I did that or not. I think I did on my original. That one I went all the way. That's fine. I just looked at my original. I do have a little bit of paper hanging over, so I'm going to grab my scissors. I'm going to put my scissors right up against the cardstock. Use the cardstock as a guide, and then I can cut that little sliver off. Put some adhesive on here. I'm going to go ahead and put it on in the inside of the card. So we will have the card base pretty much done. Oh, wait a minute. We do need to add something. Let's go ahead and put this on here. There we go. And I am giving you a sneak peek of a new embossing folder that's going to come out in March. It's the Lady Picnic. It's got a bunch of little ladybugs and flowers. This is just perfect with this sweet bug suite, or bundle, that is. The suite is cute as a bug. But there is it. What I did, I used, it's a piece of our vellum specialty paper, and it started off with a 3.5 by 4.5 inch piece. Then I grabbed my party banner dies. Love this set. And you can see out the big sizes. You can make banners, great for scrapbook pages also, but the smaller ones work for cards too. And I used the number 7 die. So when I count, number 1 is the smallest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this was the one I used. So from that vellum paper, I die cut this. Once it was die cut, then I ran it through, put it inside here and ran it through, and that's how I got it embossed. I decided to use vellum because I still kind of wanted to see those mushrooms in the back. I didn't want to cover up too much of the paper. Now with vellum, you don't want to put a lot of adhesive where people can see it. I'm going to be tucking this underneath the ribbon just a little bit, so I am okay. To be honest, I put the ribbon on after I did this, but this is going to be fine because this is all loose. So what I'm going to do, so if you're just watching this, you're going to make the cards later, I would put the adhesive, put this on before you put the ribbon around it. It really doesn't matter. And then I'm putting it along the top because we're not going to see that, and some here in the middle because we're going to be covering this middle up. But I'm not going to do it here at the sides or the bottom because that's places it's going to show. But that is enough adhesive that I'm not going to see it. So I'm making sure I'm not seeing the top of that vellum. I want to make sure that is still underneath. I'm centering it left and right. That looks pretty, yeah, that does look pretty good. Okay. It's nice and straight, so now I can push it down where that adhesive is at and up here. So that adhesive is covered up, and I don't know if you can see this, but you can kind of see the adhesive a little bit. No worries. Just grab one of the circles in your kit. This was out of a 3 by 3 inch piece of pecan pie, and I used my trusty stylish shapes dies, and I used the second largest die. In case you're wondering, this die set is $30 if you don't have it. This is a must. I love it. I used that one. I used probably more than any of my dies. This one is a $40 set. It's also part of a bundle with alphabet set, and you can check that out in my online store. I think it's called Party Alphabet. Okay, now I'm going to take this circle, get some adhesive on here, maybe even a little bit more here in the middle, since I'm putting it on vellum, plus it's embossed, so I want to make sure it stays on really good. So just put that in the center of your banner. Okay. So I still got to have that ladybug print, but I can still see the mushrooms behind there since I used the vellum. I forget to do that sometimes. And I thought, you know what? I forgot we have vellum again. I'm so glad we have vellum again. So I'm going to grab my Stampin' Pierce mat. I'm going to grab all of the pieces here to make we're going to make the flowers and put the mushrooms together. So let's go ahead and do the flowers first. So grab all 4 flowers. So it'll be 2 of these. Now these big ones can be used this way or this way, and we're going to do it this way. You can do different if you want to, But this is the way I decided to do it. And that one. And then I want you to grab what are normally strawberries, do that pecan pie. Like I said, the blackberry one you're not going to be using unless you want to add it somewhere else. But these are great flower centers for these. What I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my glue, and it really doesn't matter. They're both a little different in size, but I do want the smaller. This little one's a little harder to tell, so it really doesn't matter. But this one, you can tell how this little point is a little thinner than this. It's a little broader down here. So this is going to be my bottom. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right here. I got a little too much. It came out a little quicker than I expected. So I'm going to take a little bit off with my silicone craft sheet, and that will dry and I can wipe it off. Oops. I definitely got too much. I went through the little holes, so don't do that. Try not to put too much. Okay, I'm going to hold that down. You want to put pressure on it. That way that glue soaks in. There we go. I'm going to turn this one over. See if I can get, you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of my glue up here. There we go. Now, I know this one's smaller, but it still looks just fine. It actually gives the illusion of that flower being a little bit smaller, which I kind of liked. Now I'm going to put pressure on it. I did not put pressure on it. That's why I lifted up, because I had a little glue on my finger. There we go. Now, the two bigger stems are what these are going to go on. And I will be covering up that piece right there. So what I decided to do, even though these can be leaves, I'm going to cover these up. I'm going to use them more of an anchor for my flower. When you put this down, make sure that they are hidden behind the flower and get that stem lined up in that center part of the flower. Hold that down for a few seconds. There we go. Do the same thing with this one. Okay. This one will go on. Make sure you cover up that. Make sure the stems are in the middle and you cover up those green leaves at the top. Hold that down. Okay, so those are done. I'm going to get those out of the way. Where I've got a little glue, I'm making sure I don't put my cardstock down on that, because I don't want glue where I don't want it. These are going to be covered up too, these top two little leaves. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there. I'm going to grab this one. Now the little flower, you kind of have to move around a little bit. Actually, if you have it this way, I just remembered, these top two petals with them spreading out like that, those will cover up those leaves. So just angle it that way and then put pressure on it. So the stem may not be perfectly centered, but it's covering those up. It looks just fine. With real flowers, it's not going to be perfectly centered anyway. So there we go. Do the same thing with this one. Make sure you cover those leaves up. With that one being a little bigger, you can center the stem a little better. Okay, flowers are done. Let's get those mushrooms done real quick. So make sure you have them right side. You'll be able to tell one side's smoother than the other. This one's a little rough. The cuts are a little rough. So there's that one. That one's actually the big topper, so that one goes with the big mushroom. And then here is the smaller topper. So I'm going to turn this around. Oops. Put a little glue on here. This will fit. You're actually going to try to line up the top and sides because you want a little bit of this to show. Okay, so that looks good. So I'm going to hold that down. When you turn it over, you're going to see a little bit of the topper up there. That is fine. So you're more lining the sides up, making sure you see a little bit of the vanilla underneath. Now this one we're going to see a lot more vanilla because the topper's not quite as big. Just kind of line it up with the top. And I'm kind of centering it because a little bit is hanging over on each side. I kind of want to make those close to the same length over. It's not that big a deal because it doesn't go over much. Get that pressure on, and now that mushroom's done. So we're all done putting these things together, but now it's time to put it on the card base. So I'm going to move this over because I'm still going to be using it. I'm going to start off with the flower with the bigger flower center. I'm going to put some glue back here and on the leaves. I'm not going to worry about the stem since it's so narrow. Maybe a little bit there on that flower center so it stays anchored. And this one, and I can hold on to the stem and not get glue on my fingers or the tips of my petals because I didn't do it there either. I'm going to put this one about right here. I kind of place actually up a little higher like that. I placed these down and then to figure out where they were when I first did it without gluing them down. But since I know right where I want them now, I can put them down. I'm looking at my original, so I have an idea. I did all the work for you, so you don't have to do any guesswork. But if yours doesn't look just like mine, that is fine, of course. Mine's just a starting point. Oops. There we go. Now this one, I want it down a little bit. And we have them overlap just a little bit too. Maybe something like that. Hold it down. Get those leaves down. Then I'm going to grab the larger of these two flowers. Once again, do it on the leaves, then on the flower. And this one, I'm going to kind of have like this, maybe up a little bit more. So I'm wanting these to show with the mushrooms. I'm okay with the stems not being perfect because we're going to be covering them up some with the mushrooms. Then, last but not least, we've got the little flower. Oops, come on, glue. I don't want to push too hard. You know what? When that happens, go over to another section. There we go. Get it going again. This bottle's getting low. There we go. Now, put this on, and it's going to angle. I kind of like it to the left of that leaf, though. Just a little bit. There we go. So hold that down. All right, so all the flowers are on. Now I want to put the mushrooms on with dimensionals. So I'm going to grab some minis, dimensionals here. I'm going to turn these over. And I think I can get, yes, if you put the flat sides of the mini dimensional on here, you can actually put this on this stem. Just make sure you line that up good. If it does show a little bit on the outside, then you can trim it a little bit, and I think I do have a little bit showing right here. So I'm kind of going at an angle with my scissors. There we go. That kind of makes the dimensional at an angle too, but there we go. That way I don't cut my mushroom. And then I can put a couple up here. If I can get a hold of them. I got a little bit of glue on my finger. And this little section right here is a little wider than the rest of the stem. That way that will hold up. Now with this one, that stem's narrower, so I can't put a full mini dimensional on there, so I'll put a couple of these on. That's even a little too thin, I think. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to trim some of these, just make a little strip, thin strip off of here, the border. Then I can take this off and put it right there on the stem. I think that is probably good enough. I don't think I need to even worry about that. So I'm going to grab the big one. I'm going to take the paper backings off. Okay, I think I got them all. See if they shine. Yep, if they shine in the light, I know I got them all. All right, this one is going to go here. I do want to line up the stem near the bottom of the circle. And I still want to see that flower center, and you'll understand why here in just a minute. So I'm just going to tap it. I'm not going to put it all down all the way in case I want to move it. Let's get the paper backings off of this one. I'm going to put this one right next to it, kind of angle it. Still seeing the flower center, that's good. I might angle it a little bit more. I like that. So I'm going to push it down. Now I want you to grab the greeting that we did, and we're going to do a little bit of cutting. If they're not straight, no big deal. But I'm going to go right in between the U and the lots, cut, in between the love and you, and cut. Now the both ends are a little wider from where the word ends to that. If you want to trim that a little bit, you definitely can. You don't have to, but you can take a little bitty sliver off. Do the same thing with this one. There we go. So those look pretty good. Now I'm going to put some adhesive on here. close my glue here. Get my seal, put some seal across here. Oh, I need a little bit more. You could use glue dots too if you wanted to. Well, I'm going to start with the love, so I might as well put this on here. I'm going to put it up here. And I'm going to lift that flower up just a little bit. I kind of like to have a little bit of the petal on that. It's not going to be much. And then my U. Some adhesive on it. This one I'm going to straighten up just a little bit. Not much, just a little. And I'm going to get that little petal on there too. I got a little something on there. There we go. I kind of want them going different angles. So this one I think I'm going to bring down a little bit more. This one I'm going to bring up a little bit more. There we go. So I'm not pushing them down all the way. They're stuck a little bit. That way they don't move too much while I'm messing around with them. And then this one, oops, don't want it upside down though. Might angle it a little bit like this. Let's see, I'm thinking I'll bring it down a little bit. So you just keep playing around with it till you like the way they look. This one just won't go. There we go. Love you lots. There we go. So now we still have a little more to do. I want you to grab the Ladybug Garden epoxy shapes. I'll just call them ladybugs for here on out, even though they're not all ladybugs. We're going to use one ladybug. And I have learned this. They are so flat, they're hard to pick up. I definitely couldn't get them with the putty side. So if you kind of bend the cellophane that they're on, then you can get underneath there with the take your pick tool with the paper piercer. Comes off a lot easier that way. I'm going to put a ladybug right there. And I'm going to use these as flower centers, these clear ones, but I wanted to make them yellow. Now you could definitely just leave them clear, but they didn't show up quite as well. You can also, if you don't want to worry about flower centers, you can take a marker also and just color that in, but it probably wouldn't show up that much. So this is why I did it this way. I'm taking my dark Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blend, and I'm going to color while it's still on the cellophane, and use a light touch. Don't go too hard or you're going to fray your tip. Wait a few seconds so it can dry, and you can add another layer that'll darken them up just a little bit more. I figured the light daffodil wasn't going to be dark enough, so that's why I'm doing the dark Daffodil Delight. And just go over a couple times till it looks good to you. Now you can tell they're yellow. I'm going to grab one of these. Same type thing here, but these you have to be a little more careful because they like to pop up, pop off. All right, I'm going to put this one on this flower center. And if you wanted to, since there are two different sizes of flowers, you could use a smaller one here, but I went ahead and used two large ones. But you could definitely use a smaller one, because I like the look of the larger one on both of them. Definitely on, boy, that one's sticking on my finger, so I'll just use my finger. There we go. So that gave us a little bit of a flower center. So that is the first card of club. So I hope you enjoyed that one. Now, for those of you that are already members of the club, go to your PDF, click on the link for the exclusive video, and you can finish the last 3 cards, or 3 card designs, the rest of your cards. For those of you that aren't members, I would love for you to join. Like I said, I gave you, told you about the club a little bit at the beginning of the video. Just click on that monthly online card club link you see there in the video description, and you get all the information there in case I forgot anything. Because there are other add-ons. There's just a lot of stuff you can check out there. And like I said, they get exclusive, they get the card kits, they get exclusive video for the last 3 cards, they get a PDF with the sizes, the video links, and the supply list. And I also, the $46 a month also includes the shipping, so you don't have to pay anything extra for the shipping. So I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. And if you live in the United States and do not have a demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. Just click that contact me link you see down in the video description, and I will mail out your first set of catalogs to you for free. These are the ones going on right now. We've got the annual catalog and the January to April mini catalog, and this is the one that the Cutest of Bug Suite is in. And also when you join club, you automatically, as long as you're in club, you also get free catalogs mailed to you. So if you join and you don't have a catalog, just let me know and I'll mail them out to you. So there's the card again. I hope to see you in club, and I hope to definitely see you in another video. And also, I almost forgot, this is going to go up on Monday. The following day, Tuesday night, I have made a fun fold card with this suite, so you can see another card that you can do with this set. I had so much fun with it, I had to make another one. So make sure you come back to my live next Tuesday night, and that would be February 10th, and it starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on my Facebook page and this YouTube channel here. So hope to see you tomorrow night. Bye, guys.